Welcome and blessings to you who listen to this message. Who continues the work that Jesus' apostles began about 2,000 years ago? More than 2,000 years ago, Jesus walked among us, as a human being, without leaving his divinity. The Son of God gave fullness to the revelation, sealing the new and eternal covenant with his blood. This good news had to continue living from generation to generation. The message of salvation could not be hidden or reserved for a few. In his wisdom, Jesus established the church.
He said to them, "And who do you say I am?" Simon Peter answered, "You are Christ, the Son of the living God." Jesus replied, "Blessed are you, Simon son of Jonah, because it was not flesh and blood that revealed this to you, but my Father who is in heaven. And I in turn tell you that you are Peter, and on this rock I will build my church, and the gates of hell will not prevail against it." Matthew chapter 16, 15-18.
The apostles, obeying the Master's invitation, became fishers of men. But all of them, except John, died as martyrs. They gave their lives for the Lord and his word, and gave testimony of faith. So who was going to continue the mission that they began, and that must continue until the second coming of Christ? Let us turn to the Catechism of the Catholic Church, which in number 1536 tells us,
"Order is the sacrament thanks to which the mission entrusted by Christ to his apostles continues to be exercised in the Church until the end of time. It is, therefore, the sacrament of the apostolic ministry. It comprises 3 degrees, the episcopate, the presbyterate, and the diaconate."
The diaconate is the first level of sacred orders. At the beginning of the early Church, deacons emerged as a need to care for those in need.
The 12 called the assembly of the disciples and said, "It does not seem right for us to abandon the word of God to serve tables. Therefore, brothers, look for 7 men among you, of good repute, full of the Spirit and wisdom, and we will put them in charge of this charge, while we will dedicate ourselves to prayer and the ministry of the word." The proposal seemed good to the entire assembly, and they chose Stephen, a man full of faith and the Holy Spirit, Philip, Prochorus, Nicanor, Timon, Parmenas, and Nicholas, a proselyte from Antioch. They presented them to the apostles, and, having prayed, they laid their hands on them. Acts 6, 2-6.
All ministers of the Church are first deacons. Some will continue to the next level and are ordained presbyters, better known as priests. On the other hand, we have permanent deacons, who can be married men, who serve the Church, celebrating the sacraments of baptism and marriage. They can also preach at Holy Mass. I am blessed that my father is a permanent deacon, service he has given to the Church for the past 38 years. The second-level presbytery of the sacred orders allows men called to serve the Church to be, in persona Christi Capitis, in the person of Christ the head. The main element in the sacrament of holy orders is the laying on of hands. We see this in the following text.
One day, while they were worshiping the Lord and fasting, the Holy Spirit said to them, "Reserve Saul and Barnabas for me for the work to which I have called them." After they had fasted and prayed, they laid their hands on them and sent them away. Acts 13, 2-3.
The episcopate is the third and final level. In this, the bishops are ordained. Unlike the first 2 levels, which are a personal decision to follow the call to serve in the Church, bishops are appointed by the Bishop of Rome, the Pope. The bishops are the immediate followers of the apostles. They are responsible for fully continuing the mission entrusted by Jesus to the 12. Let us include in our prayers the consecrated persons of the Church, deacons, priests, and bishops. Without them, we could not receive the sacraments. God bless you now and always.